Karnataka Congress government has passed the contentious Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill. Now, the bill splits the current city's governance institution BBMP into 7 corporations, and it will be under a new Greater Bengaluru Authority. The mayor's tenure, viewers, has been extended for another 30 months to oversee stability. According to the bill, the GBA will be headed by the Chief Minister. The city's civic infra and urban planning now will fall under government's purview. Now, the administration of the new zones will be under the GBA, and the Chief Minister, through the GBA, will administer the corporations. The bill dilutes the authority of the corporators elected to the BBMP. The move raises concerns as governance is set to become more bureaucratic. Experts have also said that revenue sharing disputes are likely to surface as same zones may be more financially self-sufficient than others. Now, viewers, the Karnataka Congress government, in fact, has passed the contentious Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill, which splits the current city's governance institution, the BBMP, Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarapalikhe, into 7 corporations, and it will be under a new Greater Bengaluru Authority. Let's quickly go across to Sandeep Anirudhan, convener Citizens Agenda from Bengaluru. He joins me on this News9 special. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Anirudhan. Let's start with the basics. Do tell us what really prompted the Karnataka government to introduce the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill.
To be frank, it is just an attempt to delay elections. Secondly, it is an attempt to avoid the constitutional mandate. So basically, it's a hijacking of constitution. It is a power grab. The constitution is very clear. In the 74th amendment, it is clearly prescribed what a city should have in terms of planning structures and governance structures. It clearly says for planning, there has to be a metropolitan planning committee, which has to do ground-up planning, and that has to cover the entire district, if not the greater city area. Secondly, it clearly says there has to be a city government, or depending on the area, you can have like local self-governments. But these have to be decentralized, devolved, elected, and unified. So it is in the mandate of the constitution itself that every city government has to be unified. All parastatals should be merged. All services should be merged. It should be decentralized, devolved, and there has to be elected government. The government has been violating all of this for the last I think it's more than 4 or 5 years since elections were due. So it's basically the constitution is missing in the city right now. So this is a further attempt. Basically, they're trying to create a superstructure called the Greater Bengaluru Authority, which will basically push aside the MPC. The MPC has a function of coordinating and planning and creating master plans, which Bengaluru desperately requires, because for the last 32 years, we've not had a metropolitan planning committee. Therefore, we don't have a mechanism for planning, and we don't issue holistic master plans. And you see where it has got Bengaluru now. It is the most visible symbol of urban ruin in the city due to unplanned development. None less than the Supreme Court has actually called Bengaluru out for this, for unplanned development. So the MPC is what is most important for the city right now. The government has no intention of operationalizing the MPC. It just remains on paper. In fact, they set it up only because of a High Court stricture, and they don't want to operationalize it. They don't want to appoint members. They don't want to appoint experts. Bengaluru desperately is choking. It requires planning. It requires master plan. It requires a vision plan. It requires comprehensive development plans. It requires mobility plan. We have none of these. We call ourselves the IT capital of God knows what, the universe. But we have zero planning. We don't have urban planners. We don't have transport planners. We don't have ground-up planning. Instead of doing that, which already exists in the constitution, this government is muddling around. It's wasting precious time and resources in talking about unnecessary things. It's creating a superstructure above the elected government, and it wants
the question,
it to be
Mr. Anirudhan,
with government.
and the question, Mr. Anirudhan, the question also, Mr. Anirudhan, the question also is, how will splitting BBMP into 7 corporations impact Bengaluru's administration?
So I'll give you a simple example. Right now we have one corporation, and everything they want to reform could be done in that one corporation. They have failed miserably over the last 3 to 4 decades. Every government, let us be fair. Just imagine them doing the same with 10, 7, 5 corporations. This entire district is going to collapse because none of the bureaucracy in Karnataka has not shown that it can even govern one city, right? It has shown that it cannot be constitutional. It has shown that it cannot curb corruption. It has shown that it cannot have transparency. You think they're going to magically do this just by splitting it into 5 or 10? No. The intention of splitting it up is just to create more confusion. It will be a complete mess. Mind you, all these state ministers and state MLAs do not care about the city. Most of them don't even come from the city. We need a city government which will care for it. We need uh, actually the constitutionally mandated city government. We need ward committees, area sabhas. That is the kind of democratic, decentralized, devolved structure that the city requires. Now, what they've done with GBA amounts to, just imagine the nation's prime minister, Narendra Modi, and all the MLAs, the nation's prime minister, Narendra Modi, and all the MPs of Bangalore district have to sit in the legislature sessions, and the prime minister will head the state government under whom the chief minister and all other authorities will function. This is exactly what they're doing with the city. They want the state's MLAs and the chief minister to be on top of the city government. So as if don't have enough work to do. I mean, as it is, the state of Karnataka is collapsing. There is misgovernance, lack of planning. It's affecting, and there's right now we have the climate change impact. We have huge challenges for the entire state. The state government is not interested in solving those. They want to sit and form another government in the city in which they are the prime actors. Have you come across something more ridiculous than this? Please tell me. Have you seen this happen in any other part of the country or the world where a state government is more interested in being part of the city government? They are not interested in the state. They all want to come and sit in the city government. They want to participate in the city government sessions. And now it's going to be multiple khichidis. It's going to be like 10, 15, I don't know how many city governments they want. But just imagine the kind of coordination issues. You have to have new now you have to have new city limitations. Then you have to have ward limitations. Then you have to have, and they have conveniently left out a lot of clauses. The ones that speak about area sabhas have been removed from the revised draft. And I'll tell you the biggest irony is this. The government announced a public consultation last month. Do you know that the standing committee which went into the original draft of the bill, which was rejected in the legislature, they made their changes. Then they announced a public consultation, but they did not share the present draft, which has already been changed. They did not share.
All right.
They shared the original draft for public consultation, and they gave 3 days for citizens to actually give feedback. What can be worse?
Mr. Aniruddin,
You're talking about completely transforming the governance of a city. You're going to bring in like crazy land shifting kind of changes, and you're not even having a robust, transparent public consultation. This is it's a tragedy. The city is just going to collapse. We citizens are not being given a voice, and this government is pushing it ahead like a bulldozer. I mean, it's crazy. This is completely undemocratic. It's very harmful and dangerous for the city. It's already collapsing. We're going to have crazy turmoil. Nothing good is going to come out of this. And in the name of new delimitations and ward boundaries, they will stretch the elections to whatever they're planning for another 4 or 5 years, if possible. So this is actually the cause for all of this. They don't want elections. The state ministers and MLAs want to control everything that's happening, which largely means corruption, basically. So basically, the political economy, it's a ploy to control the political economy, keep fleecing the city, keep milking it. The city is dying, but they will not let go of it. Till the last blood is squeezed from the city, these politicians will completely squeeze the city dry. And this is the only reason all this drama is going.
Right, Mr. Aniruddin, I completely understand your point. Thank you very much for joining us on this News 9 special.